We're here in the Academy in Venice looking at Giovanni Bellini's Madonna and Child with St. John the Baptist and Saint. Looking at this painting, we can assume that Giovanni Bellini has to consider color more important. The red and the blues and the greens glow lavishly. It's spectacular because Giovanni Bellini is using a new technique which had been perfect in the north, which is known as grazing. Taking the idea from the artists who are Northern Renaissance artists such as Jean Bagnac, the way that they painted was to apply oil painted on white ground in rare or grazes. In cases painting a thin layer of color, the oil would dry, and again paint another thin layer, and each of these layers were translucent and reflect the white ground underneath, creating intensity and depth to the colors. Which was unprecedented in Italian painting because they were using tempera or fresco as the main media that artists used. Oil painting was so different. Not only did it allow for grazing, but it also stayed wet, and that means that they could rework the surface. Tempera dry very quickly, and fresco is staining a patch of wet plaster has to be done quite quickly, so it cannot be reworked as well. This meant that when an artist wanted to show the movement from light to dark, they had to use the line, a kind of hatching technique. But oil painting allowed for very soft moderation of light and shadow. For instance, at the Christ Child left leg, the light moved from a brilliance at the knee that had been projected forward to the shadow of the top of thigh that had been moved back in space. This is because oil painting stays wet and it can be blended. The Venetian essentially gave up fresco in the late 15th century because Venice is a series of humid island. It was really bad atmosphere for fresco, so that there was a division between the Florentian tradition and the Venetian tradition. The Florentian tradition is drawing is more important due to the fact that fresco dries quickly, so that they need to know what they are going to extract before they start. Oil painting process allow artists to change things on the fly, freeing them from being slave to the original drawings.